welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. If you didn't know who I am, if you're new to this channel, I'm Sandra Bellamy. I'm author of Asexual Perspectives, which is out on Amazon, and I am asexual. Asexuality is a sexual orientation that is the lack of sexual attraction. So I'm on Facebook dating, and Facebook dating is not specifically for asexuals. In fact, it's for most people that are the opposite of that. In other words, pretty much most of the guys I've come across on there are heterosexual. A lot of them are wanting sex, quick sex, and more sex, right? And so it gets very, very disappointing at times. I have made a couple of friends off there. I say friends, they don't really talk to me that much because, you know, I'm looking for something different than them. But it's very interesting because I had a guy connect with me a couple of days ago who I met through Facebook dating, who I removed from my friends list because he barely, you know, he didn't speak to me anymore. And it's a shame because he's Indian, and then he was messaging me for those 2 nights in a row, not last night. So yeah, so that was very interesting. And he said that he remembers at one point I thought he was my soulmate. I said, yeah, I did, but you weren't strong enough for me because we had a video date and you cancelled it to be with your friends and made your friends the priority. So clearly you're not a strong enough guy for me. In contrast to that, I was on Facebook dating tonight, recently, not long ago, and I saw this guy's profile, and he had a little bit of facial hair from his pictures. And anyway, I don't know if he's Indian or not, right? I still don't know which country he's originally from. Anyway, I just thought that I liked the fact he filled out more of his profile because he put pros and cons about himself, and one of the cons was he's annoying. And I'm like, oh, I don't know whether I should actually bother to message him or not, because if someone says they're annoying, you should kind of take them at face value and think, why would you want to bother with someone who's annoying? But I have known some guys who are very, very romantic to the point of some women would call annoying because they're too romantic, they're too communicative, or these women think. But I actually like someone who's really romantic and really communicative. So I didn't know where he was coming from on the annoying scene, right? Whether it would be an annoying, a good annoying, or a bad annoying, right? And so I was very interested to actually talk to him, but being asexual, right, one of his pictures, full body pictures, kind of looks like, is that designed for sexual women to draw attention to your penis in your trousers, or are you just trying to show off your full actual figure close up? I didn't quite know if it's a bit of both. Probably it's a bit of both, but anyway. He just seemed like he's a bit more genuine than some of the guys because of the way he wrote the pros and cons about himself. He said he's emotional as well, which he put down as a con, but to me that's really not a con. That's a huge plus. I do not like guys who are unemotional. They just like too macho. I can't be dealing with it. Anyway, and the photographs he had were decent. Like, they looked real, you know, like not fake profiles. They looked quite natural. And so and he likes food and stuff. I love my food, as you know. And so I thought, oh well, I'll message about what is it that annoys people with, right? And so anyway, we had a little bit of a conversation with that. And then he said, oh, I hope I'm making sense. And I'm like, no, not really, but you made me laugh, which he did, which was nice, because I think if someone does make you laugh, then obviously it's a plus. And then basically, very short time after that, he sprung into action and invited me to a video call right on my phone through Facebook dating, right? And me being me, I'm not scared of doing stuff like that, right? Because I'm an extrovert, as you know, and I don't get scared of stuff like that unless, I mean, I have had bad experiences, don't get me wrong. I had one guy who was much older than he said he was, and he was in his bed, and he looked like he was going to show me his penis, and I quickly turned off the video, and it's like, no, blocked, right? So not every experience I've had is a good experience, right? But it does not put me off. Like, some people think, obviously, with asexual, some people think, oh, you've had a bad experience sexually and that's why you're not having sex. No, right? I don't have sexual inhibitions. If I wanted to have sex, I would, but I do not experience sexual attraction. It makes me very sex repulsed because I'm not interested in someone sexually. I'm not even interested in the genitalia. The only reason I did that years ago, which is 10 years ago this month actually, was because I felt I had to as part of a normal relationship. And now I know I don't have to have that, because obviously there are thousands of asexuals around the globe. I have in-person asexual friends. Because I hold asexual meetups. I have, online asexual friends as well. There are just thousands of asexuals all around the globe, right? So we don't have to put ourselves through torture and self-abuse by, forcing ourselves to do something that we're really not into, right? And so for me, I'm not interested in the sex. I just love the kissing, right? And the cuddling and the holding hands. That's really it for me. Anyway, this guy decided to spontaneously video chat with me. And like I said, I'm not scared of stuff like that. So I did. I accepted his invitation and I went for it. And I'm thinking, thank God there's a real person here, right? Because he put in his profile that, if a girl's looking for money or looking for just someone to be basically a taxi service to them, use their car to pick someone up and drop someone off, he's not interested. So clearly he must have had quite a few girls interested in, quite a few dates that didn't go right or something, fake people, right? So, I knew that he'd had a bad experience, and it is hard to find decent people on there, right? But I have quite a lot of success at finding people that are really actually talking and real people on there. I don't know if it's just a huge skill I have or what, but I'm really good at finding people like that in general. And so anyway, this guy invited me to video chat and I just went for it. And I'm so glad I did, because I had a really great time, right? He had this, he has facial hair. That did put me off a bit, because obviously, I like clean shaven guys. But he asked to see this YouTube channel. He said, send me the link when we finish our conversation. So that was really nice. And he had such a beaming smile. Just have a video chat with a guy who talked nicely to me, who didn't go off alarming when I said I'm asexual, who actually spoke an actual conversation, proper conversation, people, in this day and age. Oh my God. And he had such a beaming smile, lovely teeth and beaming smile. His smile was gorgeous. I have to say that was his most attractive feature. Second to the fact that he was very attentive and nicely spoken. I really liked that about him. So I had a really nice time. It was a spontaneous video date, basically. I didn't know that was going to happen. I had no idea he was going to do that, but I liked it because I like strong guys. I like a guy who's like, yeah, come on, let's get to it. Let's video chat now. Now, some women might not like that, might think, oh, it's far too soon, but I don't. If it's an actual in-person date, that's different, right? Because I do not want to be meeting up with a stranger who I don't know, never seen before, never spoken to before in my life, and that is just too presumptuous and too risky, and I'm not interested. But if a guy wants to video date with me, it's great, because it's actually, he wants to get to know me and talk to me like a human being and know me as a person. You can always block or just get rid of someone if they're not suitable. But I had a really nice time. I think it's the best video date that I've had off there so far. Because it was just spontaneous. He was really nice to talk to. He was very attentive, listened to me, seemed very open and honest. I told him, I did warn him I'm not normal, because don't forget, this was a spontaneous video call, and I'm guessing he didn't really read my profile properly, because so many guys, I mean, in a way it's nice, because they are kind of like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. This is what I feel. And therefore they don't even bother reading my bio, because they're too kind of engrossed in my looks, which is really nice to be appreciated in my looks. But it's just kind of be nice if you read my bio and actually got to know the me inside the bio, the personality bit, really, not just the looks. It'd be nice. But anyway, I know most guys, they don't even bother. They're just they see a gorgeous woman and they're just I've got to talk to her, right? Which is nice in that sense, but it's kind of are you looking for more than just a pretty face, right? And so anyway, I thought he probably doesn't know much about what I've written in my bio, so I was warning him I'm going to, he asked me what I was looking for in a relationship, and I thought that was really nice, right? Straight up, video chat, said hi, in a really nice way and very, very quickly asked me what I'm looking for in a relationship. And I thought this is really good. This is a guy who knows his own mind, who's really strong, who cuts to the chase, who doesn't faff around the bushes. You know, I get so fed up with guys who are just like, oh, well, you know, they don't even offer to video chat. It's usually me offering that. It's like, what the hell? It's like, I have male traits, right? I'm quite proud of them, you know, like action taker and doing stuff like that. But it's like, I do like the guy to take the lead on messaging, on interacting with me, on communicating with me, on keeping the relationship going, on actually arranging video dates and sticking to the dates, of taking charge of that, of making me a priority in that moment and being attentive. I really like a guy like that, right? That's the type of guy I need in that sense, that who is strong and knows what the hell he wants and is like, yes, let's get down to this, right? Let's do it, right? I love that. Action taking, let's do it, let's have a conversation, right? A human to human, right? Because so many people these days are wanting to swipe online and they don't want anything real. It's just like swipe culture, like swipe, 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 swipe. And no one seems to want to talk to a real person, have a real conversation. It's just all to do with looks, and like seems to be a lot of Facebook dating is like 1, 2, 3, 4 word answers. Like a guy, like there was an actual Indian guy I was talking to who only lives probably a couple of hours away from me, right? But it was terrible. I was trying to have a text message conversation and I'm like, how's your day? And he's like, good, how was yours? I mean, I want the guy to say to me, oh, it's good, this is what I did, right? You know, I've given him a lead. I've given him a way in to actually have an open conversation and speak to me like a human being, right? If you went into a room, would you just stand there going, hi, I'm good, thanks? Just imagine if you went into a room and did that and you weren't interacting with anyone, right? You should be treating dating as the same as that, right? You should be treating dating as you're going into a room, and if you like a specific person, you interact with that person, right? You have a conversation, right? And you talk. Otherwise, you're just sat there in silence and it's deathly. And no one's talking and it's just boring. And it's like you cannot understand the other person, what their likes, wants, needs, dislikes are. You can't get to know them. It's just kind of like, oh, right, is that it? Right, just like boredom and frustration and kind of like, this is going nowhere fast, right? I can't be bothered to waste my time. So literally the Indian guy I was talking to before, I was literally saying like, I'm asked for a few messages of like not really writing very much. I said to him, oh, I'm curious to know, why did you match with me? Why did you like me when you like sex and I don't? And then he blocked me after that. I'm thinking, good, next, out of the way, you know, because I can't be doing with it, right? If a guy really wants sex, I don't want it. Move on. Like, stop wasting each other's time, you know, especially with stupid back and forth 1, 2 or 3 word conversations. You know, it's like, have a decent conversation. If you actually want to be a friend as well, have a proper conversation, not just a half-assed one, right? And so anyway, it was a really nice time I had on the video chat. It wasn't a long video date, but it was really good because he was asking me like what type of relationship I'm looking for. And I told him I'm not normal, because I thought it's best to forewarn him I'm not normal. Because I learned this as a selling technique actually in my retail work throughout the years. It's called preempting objections. And you can do something called pre-framing. Right. So when you preempt the objections, you basically set the objections up and talk about them before people object to them. And pre-framing is when you put something in a certain context so that they're already aware of the situation. So it means they're less likely to question it, right? So basically, I don't come and think, oh, there's this guy, I'm preempting objections and I'm pre-framing him. I just naturally know that I felt in that situation, I needed to kind of warn him that I'm not normal, that because he was asking me what I'm looking for in a relationship, and that clearly I'm completely different to most people in the entire population, right, and world, right? I just so unconventional. And the right guy will love that about me. The wrong guy will be like, what the hell is she talking about? Oh my God, can't be doing with that person, and off, right? So it's really important to say this. But as we were actually having a kind of intimate conversation, because we were face to face on camera, he was getting ready to go to sleep, I could tell, and I need to go to sleep in a bit, but not yet, because you know what I'm like. And so because we're having like kind of a face to face conversation, which is a very intimate setting, right? I kind of wanted to warn him because I didn't want an adverse reaction from him, because he's going to think that like most people are kind of like a normal. I mean, asexuality is a normal thing, right? It's 1% of the population. It's normal in that way, right? But, you know, me personally, overall, I'm not normal with lots of multiple things, in my opinion. And I'm glad I'm not normal because I wouldn't want to be, right? So I thought it's better to forewarn him, to foretell him, you know, to basically lay it on the line, like, just to let you know I'm not normal, right? So I'll tell you what I'm looking for, but I'm not normal. So don't expect normal, right? Because then I've kind of like set the scene. Otherwise, I feared with him he would start being like, oh my God, like this, and really shocked. But if you kind of say to someone, I'm just letting you know I'm not normal, so basically what you're going to hear is not what you expect to hear from most people, then they're going to be a bit more relaxed about it, I feel. I just like, I kind of read the situation with the person I'm talking to, right, to see what's appropriate. And that's how I thought it would be with him, right? And it did work out really well with that, because I told him, I said, well, I'm not normal and I don't like sex. I am asexual, sexual orientation. I'm not actually heterosexual. And he smiled at that. And then I told him, you know, that I don't want sex, I don't want marriage, I don't want kids, and I like to live separately. So ideally I'd have a guy come to live near me, around the corner from me, but not with me. That would be my ideal scenario, really. And I did say that I prefer clean shaven guys. And he's like, oh, I'm not clean shaven. I'm like, yeah, I know. Just I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, oh, I'm not going to get a kiss then. Clearly he thought about that, right? And so at least you can see his lips. I will give him that. You can see his lips. Very nice smile and lips. So yeah, his smile was just like his best feature, like I said, and his attentiveness. Very attentive. I really like that. You know, I felt like he was actually interested in me as a person, even though I told him I'm not normal, I'm asexual. And you know, I told him that I don't go to bed till late, usually like 4 a.m. quite often, but you know, I'm going to sleep a bit earlier tonight because I'm meeting my friend tomorrow. So, you know, I tried it. I didn't like tell him absolutely every single quirky thing about me, but I think I gave him the main points, right? So yeah, I don't think you can fully see my bedroom. Looks like a teenager's bedroom, but yeah, it was really sweet because he said his birthday was last weekend, so that was really nice. He let me know about that, so that was really cool. And then he said that what work he did and what studying he's doing. So I had a nice conversation about that with him. And I asked him what he's looking for in a relationship, but he said loyalty and honesty. And those are like his 2 main things. I'm like thinking, well, I'm both of those, but I think you'd be wanting the sex and everything else that goes with a normal relationship. I think he would, but never mind, you never know. But yeah, he said definitely to send him the channel link. So I sent him my Facebook and the channel link because he was asking for WhatsApp before. So clearly he wanted to originally connect with me off there, and he kind of wanted to see my channel. He probably wants to know what asexuality is about. So hello to you if you're watching this video. And so, yeah, so I just had a really nice time. And I'm like, wow, I've had a nice time on a video date through Facebook dating, and I'm asexual. And it was pleasant. He did say to me, oh, well, that's your choice. And like, it's very annoying when someone says that. I'm like, actually, asexuality is a sexual orientation. It's not a choice. You know, that's my actual sexual orientation. So kind of like people still, you know, automatically assume it's a choice. And I'm like, no, I don't choose to not be sexually attracted to people. I'm just not. But I'm glad I'm not. I really love being asexual. I don't want to have the need, urge, and want for sex. It's my life is much better without it, right? I've lived 10 years this month without sex. I can't remember the exact day because it was 10 years ago in October 2011. So I usually class November as my 10-year sex-free anniversary this year, right? So I'm really happy about that. I don't miss it. I'm really glad I don't have it anymore. It's not something I could bring myself to do ever again, I don't think. I'd have to really try and force myself, and I don't think I could even force myself. I tried in 2013 to force myself before I found out in 2014 I'm asexual. I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm just like, I'm just done with this. I really can't, because and when you find out you're asexual, like, well, I don't have to do that anymore because there's thousands of asexuals around the globe. It's going to take me longer time to find the right guy for me because I'm asexual, but it doesn't mean to say it can't happen, you know? And sometimes I think, should I leave Facebook dating? Should I stay on Facebook dating? But so far, I've had the most amount of success in terms of dating as a whole thing through Facebook dating. Like, I've actually made some friends from guys off there, but because we aren't suitable for a relationship, usually the talking of friends, you know, fizzles out because it's kind of like we're both looking for different things. So I've kind of got some people on my Facebook friends list that probably never talk to me or hardly ever talk to me. I actually had a guy who was an X Factor contestant message me on there. Oh, he was so good looking and so beautiful and had so many hobbies. But he's not actually in the UK anymore. He's looking for someone who can kind of like go abroad to European countries and like go and meet him and stuff. And it's like, I just not looking for someone like that. I need someone in the UK, you know? So I had to kind of say no to him. It's like I'm turning down a really good looking X Factor contestant who's like really, really aesthetically gorgeous, clean shaven as well. Look, I really like. I'm like, damn it. He seemed a really nice person as well. I saw him on YouTube and I'm like, you're such a nice person. But I've had to like, I mean, you can delete the conversation or you can block it, but I decided to block because I thought, you know, the blocking, although I kind of wished I'd been his friend on Facebook, that guy, I kind of thought it's best to block because if you delete a conversation, it can crop back up again later on. It's really, I think it's like a bug on Facebook, but basically it can come back to life later time. So I thought there's no point in doing that. And also, you know, your conversations completely deleted them. Nowadays, when you deactivate conversation, you know, when you basically block someone, they can't come back up. So you kind of like narrowing down your choices more, which I think is a really good thing. And the other thing is, you know, the conversations are usually still there. You can't see who you had them with those. You have to kind of remember who you had them with, right? So if you ever need to refer to it for some reason, then you can. So I found that quite helpful. But I'm like, oh my God, that X Factor contestant, he's like got short dark hair, clean shaven, wears really nice clothes, really hot looking. And I'm like, but you are just not suitable for me. And it's such a shame, such a shame. Obviously being on the X Factor is great as well. I like the X Factor, although I don't watch TV anymore. So yeah, but anyway, this guy I had an actual video date with tonight. He was really nice. I don't know if he'll carry on the conversation with me or not, because I don't think he's asexual. Clearly not. But anyway, I had a really nice time. It's like I said, I think it's the best video date I've ever had on Facebook dating. I felt he was a really strong guy, but in a nice way, not in a I'm so macho and egotistical way, just like a strong actual guy who's nice to talk to, who's very open, who's a good conversationalist, who's pleasantly spoken, and who actually genuinely is looking for a proper relationship. I could tell by the questions he was asking, like, what are you looking for a relationship? That is like, you don't ask that question unless you're seriously looking for a relationship usually. It's something you don't usually ask, because if you don't want a serious relationship, you don't care what the person's looking for. You just want to, I don't know, well, some people want to get in each other's pants, don't they? Obviously that's not me, but you know what I'm saying. But you know, it's really nice. I really like that. It's made a change from me actually kind of like asking guys for video dates. I have had some other video dates, although haven't always been the first one to ask. I've had other ones, but nothing's been as nice and pleasant as that so far, from that I can recall. You know, I felt like I've like video chat with one guy I remember on there, and he was like making food and barely paying me any attention at all. He was like going around his kitchen like preparing food for himself. Like I felt like I was interrupting his private food party. It's quite hilarious. I do have some really funny, interesting experiences on those Facebook dating. Some of the profiles are just like, are you here for a laugh? Because you're making me laugh. Like, there's one guy and he goes, I'd like to meet a girl who's not got the personality of a door handle. What? Really? Oh my God. And there's some guys going on there, I'm a CUNT or I'm a DICK. It's like, why would you go and be with a guy who calls himself a CUNT or a DICK? It's like, why would you even do that? It makes you sound really bad if you're with someone like that. You know, and there's guys, like some guys on there that I'm dominant. I'm like, I don't want a dominant guy. I like a strong guy, but not someone who's going to dominate me. There's a huge difference. A strong guy will know his own mind, be independent to a certain extent, very decisive, know what he wants, be very strong, be able to say no to other women, but he'll still allow a woman to have her independence and be free to be who she is and, you know, accept that she has a career as well, etc. A dominant guy will be like, oh, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, you're going to do this my way, you're going to do that my way, you're going to do this for me, you're going to do that for me, and basically this is where I'm having it, right? I'm not interested in dominant guy. In terms of dominant and submissive, definitely not submissive 100%. So, do you know what I mean? You know, I just not that type of girl. So yeah, definitely 100%, 1000% not submissive. So, you know, so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, there's a lot of difficulties when you're asexual with dating, especially if you're talking to someone who's not asexual. And I've had like some, you know, like I have had bad experiences, and I wanted to let you know that not every experience is a bad experience. And, you know, I don't know why, but it seemed to be that Facebook dating seems to have a lot more, like, I don't know, I seem to have a lot more luck, is it, with Facebook dating, like I said, than anything else I've tried so far. But I'm very good at using Facebook, you know, because I've like run 6 asexual groups on Facebook. I'm literally call my friends, and I'm used to video chatting or audio calling. If I do it mostly through there, not all, some through Skype. And kind of like, I really like Facebook. It's kind of like where I do all my messaging and communication, and I'm in loads of groups. And so for me, I have a really positive experience. Obviously, Facebook went down the other day, so that wasn't good. But I thought, poor people, just imagine if they had arranged a Facebook video date and they can't video date their person for like 6 hours. Like, oh my God, that's why it's very important. If you've got someone who you love, who you're really interested in, who's even a really good friend of yours, that you have other places to chat and communicate with, not just one method, right? If you really love someone, really into someone, really care about someone, really like them as a friend, you should be asking, like, how else can I contact you? What's your email address? Like, what other platforms are you on? Like, are you on Skype? So me and my friends, like, we've always got other ways of communicating. My 3 best friends, I've got 3, I'm very lucky. I've got their phone numbers. They all live in the UK, so I've got all their phone numbers. So if anything was to happen with Facebook, I still have all their phone numbers. But if you're into dating, if you're like getting serious with someone and into them, then you need to be asking for them, like, what's your email address? Like, what's like your Skype? I do use Skype quite a bit still in terms of video chatting with my best asexual friend, right? And I have Skype connected to my phone and my iPad and on my Mac. And so for me, like, Skype is another alternative option. It's not so reliable. It's not so easy to message. It's not so instant. But I do, you know, you can do instant message, but it's just not done in the same way. It's not as instant. You know, it's harder to see someone messaging you and still know if they're talking to you, right? It was on Facebook. You can see all that Facebook Messenger. But, you know, it's like really important you have other methods of communication. Like, one of my friends who's Indian but not asexual, he went off Facebook for a bit, and he kept my email and started emailing me on there. So that's how I know he actually really genuinely likes me as a friend, because, you know, he was taking the time and bother to actually keep my email safe, so that if anything happened ever, then he would always be able to communicate with me. You know, I had another Indian guy years ago that said he like kept being like really into me, and I'm like, if you were that into me, then you would ask for other methods of communication. You wouldn't just be like having Facebook and then disappearing, and then I can't even communicate with you. And after that, he realized, you know, that basically, or I realized that he realized that, you know, he's not that into me. You know, guys who are really into you will want to communicate with you in several different ways, because he'll want to like stay in touch, right? You can't just have one communication method if you're getting serious with someone, right? It's just really ridiculous. You know, people are too much online. I love online, right? Because I love Facebook. I love that method. That's my favorite method of communication online, that is. You know, don't get me wrong, it's great, but you know, if you're having a real relationship with real people, you need to have real other methods of communication, not just one method. Like email, you should really have emails of your friends, because if anything happens, then at least most of the time email's going to be around, right? It's kind of one of the most oldest traditional ways of communicating since the internet, right? And so it's really important. So, but yeah, with this guy, I felt really good about the video date. I felt really happy. It was really nice to talk to him. I did say that I'd seen that he'd had some bad experiences, like with women being fake, and he said, yeah, he gets a lot of fake women on there, a lot of people wanting money and stuff, you know, and so that's how you can stand out these days. If you write a bio, right, on a dating site that literally is well filled out, you will stand out among loads of other people, because that's what other people aren't doing. In order to stand out in the dating world, you have to do what other people don't do. You have to be bold, be brave, and do what others aren't doing. In other words, fill your bio out completely as much as possible. Say what your hobbies and interests is, and narrow down people. Don't like go broad and go, I like anything, I'm up for anything. That's not what you want to do. You want to say, this is what I'm like, this is what I'm looking for, this is my hobbies, this is my interests, this is what I like to do. And you lay it out, right? Because you are going to stand out far more on a dating site, or in that case dating app, than loads of other people. This is why this guy stood out for me a lot, because he had the pros, like here's my pros, here's my cons, and you know, and he'd taken time to fill out his profile and actually thought about it. And the pictures weren't filtered, they weren't fake, they were very real and genuine. And so this is how you can stand out and be very different. That's probably how I get a lot of more guys talking to me, but obviously it's my pictures that really do it. But it's really weird because I've put pictures that are really, really up-to-date pictures when I first went on Facebook. Obviously I've been on there a few weeks now, and I, you know, and they're very, very natural. Like all the pictures I've put on there, I think all of them have been done in the last few months, and so they're like the most latest up-to-date pictures. I think I look maybe a little bit older in some of them than others, but you know, I've had even more kind of like attention from being more naturally beautiful myself, you know, and I think that's really nice. You know, you might have noticed that I don't usually wear makeup. So my pictures, I don't have makeup on. And you know, usually guys, even on my Facebook, they like more of my photographs without any makeup on than the ones that I do start wearing makeup with, you know, which I don't wear makeup very often at all, right? But if I ever do, I always usually get the guys liking the ones without much makeup. And that's what you want. You know, if you don't wear much makeup or don't like wearing makeup, you need a guy who's like really likes natural beauty and who sees, yeah, it's better to have a real face than loads of stuff plastered all over your face, right? And a lot of those women, you know, that put loads of makeup on, they age really quickly. And so they think they look so like gorgeous, but they're just like literally drying out their skin much of the time, making their skin older before it's time. And you know, and so they're trying to make themselves look beautiful in the moment, not realizing they're actually corrupting their future beauty, you know. And so it's, you know, like it's really important. Like I'd rather show my true authentic self, even if I've got a few bags under my eyes or something, than actually, you know, showing stuff all over my face, right? If I wear any makeup, it's usually a little bit of eyeshadow, maybe some mascara and eyeliner at the most. That's usually if I went clubbing, which I can't go obviously because of my ankle. I'm not sure when and if I'll be able to go dancing again. Clubs, because it's still in recovery, but never mind about that. But yes, so when I was talking to this guy as well, he was saying that he likes quite a lot of the opposite stuff to me, in terms of he likes traveling and he likes nature. And that's pretty much what I get from most guys. They love traveling and nature. And it's like, I'm not really into nature. I'm one of the few people, I think, in the world, like I said, I'm not normal. Well, a few people in this world that's not really into nature, right? I like the bit of nature I have in my city, right? So I live near the quayside, 5 minutes walk from the quayside in my city, and it's nice because it has like fields and a river, and it has ducks, swans and geese, and I really like that bit of nature and countryside, if you like, in my city. It's 5 minutes from where I live, and it's beautiful and gorgeous, right? But that is enough for me. I feel blessed, right? I'm like, why do I need to go to all these different places when I've got that on my doorstep and people are paying to come on holiday to actually have that type of view all the time, right? And to go to that type of place all the time, right? I don't need to, because I've got it just within walking distance, right? And so I feel very blessed. You know, I've got a little town near me. I've got a train station, 2 train stations near me, 3 in the actual whole city. And I've got, you know, like clubs, cinema, like quayside, shops on my doorstep practically, like diagonally opposite where I live. So I'm very blessed of where I live, you know. And so, but for me, like if I go away, I don't go away to explore nature. I go away to do some entertainment sort of stuff. So I go away to like go to the theatre or go to aquarium or go to a zoo or go on a theme park. You know, I go to do stuff, right? And then I'll come home and have a sleep, a rest. So I go for doing holidays, not for like a lot of people. They want to go and sit by a pool and relax and not do anything. To me, that's very boring. And it's like, if I wanted to go and do that, I'd do that in my own city, but I can't even swim anyway. But there is literally a leisure centre 5 minutes from where I live. And to me, that's wasting my time. I know not a lot of people agree with me. That's fine. But for me personally, that's just wasting my time. I can do that anywhere, right? I like to go and do stuff, be out and about doing stuff, not sat there doing nothing. It drives me insane. So yeah, it's really I'm a lights, noise, camera, action girl, and I did tell him that. So I think he liked the fact I was very different. I think he liked the fact that I was actually a genuine human being who actually he could speak to and have a decent conversation with, even if I'm very different to what he's used to. And I think he thought I was nice as a person, and I thought he was nice as a person so far. Obviously, I don't know him, but I just wanted to tell you that I had a really good experience. I thought it was really nice. His smile is pretty unforgettable, so that was good. And I don't know if anything more will happen in that vicinity. But yeah, it was a good experience. So either I guess he'll speak to me again or he won't. And I hope he finds someone decent for him though, because I know how difficult it is to find a decent person at the moment. It's very difficult. Like I said, most of the world at the moment is just swipe culture, and I don't see it getting any better. It's just very much like, all right, this person won't do, I'll go on to the next one, I'll go on to the next one. And it's good if you actually genuinely don't find any decent people, right? Because you don't want to waste your time on someone who's not right for you at all, right? You just want to move on. So that is a benefit, right? The swipe culture of that is beneficial, but it's no good if you're swiping because you're just too scared of having a decent relationship and working hard in a relationship and actually putting time, energy and effort into a relationship. Do you know what I mean? And actually thinking, oh, I've got to do some work here, right? If you're just swiping to get only a fairy tale, like, don't get me wrong, I love fairy tales. I want to make them all come true, right? And yeah, if I have a guy who's like same type of mindset as me, like, I'm sure we'll have lots of fairy tales come true, right? I need to just guy to be like, let's live the fairy tale as well, because why not? Life's too short, right? But you've got to have some realism as well, and you've got to have some knowledge that if you're having a really serious committed relationship, it requires work. You're going to have mismatches of communication sometimes. You're going to hurt each other's feelings sometimes. You're going to have to work things out because you're two different individuals coming together with some different interests and hobbies, and you coming from completely different backgrounds often, sometimes different cultures, different religions, sometimes completely different lifestyles and different ways of thinking, and it can be difficult, right? Like any relationship can be difficult, but especially if you've got kind of different stuff like that going on, right? So I think it's very important that you take your time to find the right person for you. I think it's better to be single than be with the wrong person. And I think, you've just got to enjoy dating for what it is as much as you can. There's going to be some heartache and heartbreak, and that is sad. Because I'm an emotional person, I do get attached. I do have some sadness sometimes, and I'm like, should I just give up? But then if you give up, you'll never find the right person for you, right? And I do actually like doing Facebook dating to a certain extent, because it's kind of like nice to just talk to different guys, just have a variety of speaking to different people, of learning and trying to understand people if they've got more than 2 or 3 words to say to you, which isn't very often actually. But I haven't really met many guys with much depth on there. I think this guy has some depth to his character, and I really liked that about him. Like you can actually have a conversation with him. So far is my impression. So, whereas some of the guys, it's just like they're not even paying you attention. You go on the video chat with them, they're not really with you. they're not really actually interested in talking to you, if you know what I mean. It's kind of more like going through the motions, or they're busy with doing something else and you're just an afterthought. And some guys who do the video dating, they don't even take any action. They'll like invite you for a video date, and then they'll like just not even bother attending the video date if you accept, and they'll just be like basically ghosting you. I've had one guy on there a long time ago. I blocked him on Facebook now because he started talking to me on Facebook. I'm fed up with him, right? Because he just was pringing me. It's a very, very immature thing some guys do, right? And basically you can do it with phone or video, and you just give a couple of rings to someone. They go to answer the call or to accept the call or video chat, and then they ring off, and then they don't bother and basically ignore you. And it's kind of a very manipulative tactic. It's very kind of emotionally manipulative. So you just want to be blocking those type of guys out of your life, or person out of your life, you know. But it's interesting, like Facebook Day, I kind of meet quite a lot of different people on there. You know, guys, obviously, I'm not interested in women, and I kind of like that experience. I kind of like the richness and variety. Obviously, when you get into an actual serious monogamous committed relationship with someone, you're not going to be go around doing that and getting all that variety. So you kind of got to make sure there's a lot of variety in your life. Otherwise, you know, so you've still got variety in your life, right? But you know, when I find the right person, which could be years later, I'll be glad to like come off these type of sites, because I'll be just like focused on one person then, which to me, although hard in lots of ways, it's much better, because you can just waste a lot of time as well just going and flicking through people that just aren't right for you, and like I said, barely say 2 words to you, and it's just kind of like it's a bit of a waste of time in that way. But you've just got to think it's not a waste of time, because you're getting an experience out of it. Even if it's not the experience you wanted, you're kind of like learning, all right, okay, let's quickly move on from this person. It does give you the art of detachment as well. So if you're like me and you do get attached quite quickly, you know, like I do, it happens with me because I'm a hyper romantic, right? It is kind of like a bit like automatic hook thing, which is very difficult. But I just, you know, but I have learnt to be a lot more detached, because it's like, you know, it's like that guy with the X Factor I told you. It's like Test. I really kind of still wanted to stay connected with him, probably because I just liked him, as I liked his look, and I just thought he has a lot going for him, and he's very attractive in that way, and very aesthetically beautiful, and you know, someone I would have probably liked to have chat with. But you know, he's on there for a serious committed relationship like I am. He's not really looking for someone who just wants to chat to him, and I don't want to waste his time or him waste my time. You know, he's got a lot going on because he's an actual proper like guy, you know, a real person, not just someone passing the time or being on there because he's bored, because there's quite a lot of guys like that. So, you know, it's best that I let him go on and meet someone who's right for him, and vice versa, rather than, you know, keeping connected. And there's always kind of like the thought then, or maybe in the future this person might change. You know, you kind of can end up doing that situation, and that can be a bit unhealthy if you're not careful. So, you know, it's best just to accept the fact that, you know, this person isn't right for you and move on the majority of the time, right? Because otherwise you're just kind of like clinging on to someone or some little hope that's never actually going to come to fruition, right? Because if a guy's really interested in a woman, right, he will literally travel miles around the globe for her, right? So, you know, and if he can't do that, it's not strong enough, is he? You know, so I need a strong guy for me. I did say to hit this guy on video date, I said I'm asexual. I said I'm out to the word about being asexual. I said it's really important that I have someone who's proud to be seen with an asexual girl and tell his family and friends she's asexual, and not keep me secret. I said, because I'm not into secret relationships, I can't be doing with them. And it's so true. I'm really not into secret relationships. I'm very public. I like being public, which I know is very different to a lot of people. And I just don't like secrets. I'm not going to be someone's secret bit on the side, or secret girl, or secret fantasy, or secret person. You know, it's like I'm really not interested in that. I'm just not. It's pathetic, to be quite frank with you. You know, it's just, I just find it pathetic. I really do. And you know, it's like, why would you keep someone's secret if you love them? And you know, and I've kind of gone into it a bit before, you know, but I'll go into it a bit again. Like, if you are keeping someone's secret and eventually your family and friends find out, or you tell them, what are they going to think? They're automatically going to think, if you've got to keep it a secret, something is wrong. People are secretive usually about something because they don't, want other people to know. And it's kind of like usually because they're doing something naughty, something wrong, something taboo, something people would judge in a bad way. So automatically kind of defaults their mind to thinking, oh, you're up to no good if you're doing something secret, right? That's kind of how society conditions us, right? And so, you know, automatically the friends and family are going to think, oh, if they've had to keep that person a secret, then really they're not that serious about them, or this person's not right for them, right? It automatically puts you with that person on the wrong footing and their family and friends. It's just, you know, some people think, oh, it's best to wait. It's best to wait because then I've been with this person a while, and then, you know, to my mind, that is not a good tactic, right? It's better to be upfront and honest, to say, you know, you don't have to say I'm going to be forever with this person. You can just say, like, I'm dating this person. You know, I'm really into them. I'm dating them. I just wanted to let you know, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but, you know, I'm hopeful or whatever, that type of thing, right? It's no good, like, 6 months down the line, then saying, oh, well, this is my partner. I've been with them for like 6 months, or this person I've been seeing for 6 months. To me, it's just a waste of frigging time. If your parents and family are not going to accept you and friends at the beginning, and that person is just not strong enough to stay with you in spite of that, then they're not the right person for you. I cannot be bothered to go down that route. I've been in there in the past, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, if you know what I mean. I've not been someone's secret as such, right? I haven't been that, right? But well, I was with one foreign guy who wouldn't even hold my hand in public. So he was out the door. You know, like, I had to split with him because I can't be doing with it. Really can't be doing with it. But the majority of the time, I haven't been someone's secret. But you know what I mean? If they don't like tell their family and friends about you soon, you know, it can just cause a lot of ruptions and a lot of aggro down the line, and then you have to make a decision whether to stay with that person because you don't get on with their family or their friends and stuff, and it's just a whole load of hassle. Because if you're marrying into a family, or if you're just going into a relationship with someone, you're kind of like being in a relationship with them, plus their family, plus their friends, plus their relatives. Although it shouldn't be like that, it kind of ends up being like that, right? And I would never want to be with a mummy's boy, though. I mean, I keep meeting some on Facebook dating where they're going to live with their mum forever. And I'm just thinking, how are you ever going to get a girlfriend in the UK who's just going to tolerate the fact that you're going to live with your parents forever? It's going to be very, very tough for you, because people need their space. Most British women, for example, if it's a British person you're going for, will not tolerate that type of thing. Why? They don't want to be with you and your mum. They probably left their parents years ago. I left my parents when I was 19 years of age, in birth certificate age, you know? And so there's no way that I'd want to be with a guy who's still living with his parents like that, right? Forever, right? I understand that most guys who I'm into, because they're in their 20s, would still be living with their parents then. But if he's not prepared to introduce me to his family and friends and just say, hey, I like an older girl, then he's really not for me. He's just wasting my time, and vice versa, you know? So I think it's very important that you let the person know this down the line. You know, you don't want to be an asexual person who's just a bit on the side for emotional support or friendship support, or, you know, or they're so, you know, they're ashamed to be with you because you're that different, or they don't want anyone to know you're asexual, you know, because they're embarrassed or scared or whatever they are, you know. It's just ridiculous. If you find that type of person, just move on. You know, they're not worth the hassle. And they're, you know, if they can't be honest with themselves, their family and friends, and what does that say about them? They're not strong enough for you, right? So, you know, please bear all this in mind if you're doing dating. And, you know, and like I said, it's always, you know, like, if you do end up on a spontaneous date like me, you know, just say to the person, you know, I just let you know that I'm not what the normal population is in terms of sexuality, and I also think very differently, or I'm very different, you know, and then say how. So you're pre-framing, you're like telling them what the situation is before you've told them, if in other words. It's also something that's done in non-fiction books a lot of the time. You tell someone what's coming up in the book before they've read the book, so they're not kind of disappointed or shocked or surprised. They're kind of forewarned is the word, yeah? Forewarned is forearmed, right? So anyway, I hope you found this video incredibly insightful, useful, and helpful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. I had a really nice video day with a person who had a beautiful smile, so that's pretty much all I can say for now. Hello, if he does watch this channel. Appreciated the video day, really nice. And I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live. Like now, I'll post a new video. I love you, leave you for now. Take care. Lots of love. Bye. Bye.